Tonight, Fox 5 exposes a danger you may not know about. Every time you hit the roads, you share it with tanker trucks. Just last month in Rockville, more than 8,900 gallons of fuel caught fire after a truck toppled over. The fire was so hot it melted any evidence that would have allowed investigators to determine a cause. By law, tankers are some of the most indestructible vehicles on the highway.
But Fox 5's Tisha Thompson investigates a dangerous loophole in that law that is potentially putting your life in real danger. Short sentence.
Petra Meinke was driving home when she saw the black cloud of smoke rising above a bad traffic accident.
I kept thinking, I was thinking about the family that happened to, had no idea.
When this tanker truck ignited after being broadsided by a passenger car.
When Petra got home, she turned on the TV and watched as firefighters called in foam trucks from a nearby Air Force base,
preventing rescuers from any attempt to save whomever was in the car.
Something was stirring inside of me saying, it's her. And I remember distinctly telling my husband, I said, and I couldn't believe that I said it, but I did tell him, I said, it's Jutta.
Jutta Harrell, Petra's identical twin sister. She was driving home from work when her car crashed with a tanker full of gasoline. Witnesses said her car seemed to instantly ignite. But how? The TV cameras that day caught the culprit on camera, the Achilles heel of all tanker trucks. They're called wet lines, metal tubes that run along the underbelly of all gasoline trucks. Used to transfer fuel into and out of the tanker, they can transport as much as 50 gallons at a time. But unlike the rest of the tanker, the tubing is not protected.
Common sense safety issue that needs to be addressed, and NTSB strongly believes that it needs to be fixed.
The National Transportation Safety Board's Bob Chikovich says only petroleum products are allowed to be transported this way. The government outlawed the use of wet lines on all other types of hazmat trucks more than 20 years ago. An NTSB investigation found nearly every type of vehicle can hit these wet lines, causing a fire so intense escape is nearly impossible.
So even if the person wasn't seriously hurt because of crash injuries, they can be really seriously hurt or killed because of the fire.
She would have survived the crash.
Now, almost 12 years after her daughter's crash, Jutta's mother says she's angry the problem continues to go unfixed.
If it would have saved one more life, it would be very, very important.
Take a look at what a mess this is.
The NTSB says people continue to die. Most recently in July on this New Jersey highway, the Maryland truck driver barely escaped. Investigators say the driver of the small car that hit him would have survived the crash, if not for the fire.
Over the past 10 years, there have been 6 fatalities that have resulted from cars that have broadsided the tank truck and ruptured the wet line.
Rich Moskovitz is the vice president of the American Truckers Association and says the risk just is not worth the $8,000 to $10,000 it would cost to install equipment to purge the wet lines before the trucks get on the road.
The 6 fatalities are, of course, tragic, but you need to balance that against the fact that there are 50,000 shipments of gasoline every day in this country.
But Fox 5 obtained an internal U.S. Department of Transportation memo, never before published, that says these type of hazardous material accidents have been underreported as much as 60 to 90%. The memo warns the government has probably missed large accidents that have resulted in fatalities. Critics also say many tanker fires, like the recent blaze on Montrose Road in Rockville, burn so hot it becomes impossible for investigators to know for sure what sparked the fire.
It's unacceptable when such accidents are preventable.
Minnesota Congressman Jim Oberstar is the chairman of the House Transportation Committee. He's pushing a bill that would force the tankers to purge their wet lines. He says instead of $10,000, the real price tag is less than $2,000.
It's not going to break the bank. There's never a good time to spend money, I guess, on safety until someone dies.
In order to install that technology, you actually have to use hot equipment onto this pipe. And over that 10-year period that the 6 fatalities were experienced, there's been more than 20 fatalities resulting from doing hot work on tank trucks.
No, sorry. No, I don't buy that at all. That, to me, is a lame excuse for fixing a problem that is really inexpensive to fix.
Ermi Harrell says she's heard all the excuses before.
It hurts. It brings it all back. There's no end to it. I personally wouldn't want anybody to go through the hurt. It hurts too much, and it will hurt to the day that I leave this earth.
She says until the law gets passed, she and Petro won't be able to pass a tanker truck without worrying who will be next. Tisha Thompson, Fox 5 News.
Congressman Oberstar's bill has passed the first big hurdle, getting out of committee. It is expected to go to the House floor later this month.